Hello students and welcome back to the best Python course on the planet. I'm still your co-instructor, Dr. Don from Learn with Your Brains. And today we are going to learn something we call operators in Python. Now, previously in our lesson we talked about how to accept input functions from users and a whole lot of stuff throughout the course so far. And today we're going to talk about operators. Now, operators actually are used to perform operations in variables and values in our Python or coding environment. That's when you're trying to write a software. You should know the operators used when you are dealing with math, let's say math functions or any type of mathematical operations within your code. Now, let's give you an example. Like print 5 plus 1. Here, we're telling the computer to print 5 plus 1. And now our interpreter is going to print this for us. Okay? So, when we run this code, we are going to get this. And this is where we conclude that we have an operator here, which is the addition sign, which is adding these two values for us to give us what 6. So in Python, the operators are divided into groups. We have the arithmetic operators, we have the assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, membership operators, and bitwise operators. So this is an example of the arithmetic operator, which have the plus. Then we have also minus. So when you run this, you should get like 4, right? We have the multiplication, which mostly we use the asterisk. This one. Then when we print out, we get 5. You have a lot of operators like the division. We have the modulo operator. Then we have exponential, which is used a double star. Then we have what we call the floor division, which is used what? Double / So this is the division, and this is floor division. This is modulo, and this is exponential or exponentiation, but arithmetic operator. So if you know all these operation, which is called the arithmetic operator, when you are dealing with any maths in your Python project, you can use all these. And we have also what we call the assignment operator, which mostly we normally use for storing our variables here. So let's say x is equal to 5. So this is called the assignment operator. We also have the augmented operator. So for example, if x is equal to 5, then I type x is equal to x plus 3. Let me delete here. Then we print the value of x. Perfect. Now when you run the code, let me send this up so you see. Yeah, we get 8. Why? What is happening here? This was our variable x assigned to what? Value of 5. And now in this same variable x, we are adding what? 3 to it. That's why we're able to get it. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and it updated our variable to 8. Now, we can do this by using what we call the augmented operators. Okay? So instead of writing x equals to x plus 3, which we see is like repetitive or trying to be a bit long. We can just delete this, then just use x plus or equal to 3. When we run this, we should get the same 8. So this is what we call augmented operator in Python. We can also change it to minus, and it's going to give us 2, because 5 minus 3 is what? 2. I hope you're getting the whole thing. So this is the assignment operator, and then in the assignment operator we can use the argument by either writing the whole thing like x is equal to x plus 3 or x minus 3, or we use it in the argumented form, which is x minus equals 3. So we can use the multiplication, and let's see what happened. So which means 5 multiply by 3 will give us what? 15. Now we also have what we call the comparison operators, where we try to compare two values, right? So what we will do is, let's say x is equal to 5, then okay, x is equal to 5, then let's say y is equal to 5. Then we can use a comparison, which means is x is equal to 5, just like this. So now this is the comparison operator. We are trying to compare whether the value in y is it the same as the value in what? The value in x. Is it the same as what the value in y? This is what we call the what? Comparison operator. Or we can use something like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. These are all what we call what? Comparison operators. So comparison, assignment operators, and the arithmetic operator with the plus, minus, multiplication. So you need to know all these different types of operators in Python to be able to know what you are working within your needs. Okay, and we have what we call the logical operator. Now in the logical operator we have something like AND, or not. So AND, or not, and or not. All these are called what? The logical operator. And we will use this a lot when we talking about, or we're talking more about if statements. Yeah, you'll get to know or understand all these operators, because that will play. You'll be doing a lot of conditional statement. Maybe either it will rain today or it will rain tomorrow. So we will use this kind of logical operators in our sentences to be able to get all the idea of what we are trying to do. But for now, I'm just giving you just the basic knowledge about how these operators works in Python. Okay, so that was what an example of what a logical operator. And we have one we call the identifier operator. Now, example could be like x is y. Now, this is called the identity operator, or the identifier operator, which means if x is y, which means it should return a true statement if both variables are the same. So x is equal to y is equal to 5. So x is y, which means X contains 5, Y contains 5. So it should return a true statement for us when we write our code. Okay? To compare, to do this comparison, we will rather use what? The identity operator is X, is Y. Yeah. Which means the value in X is the same as the value in Y. And if the value in X is not the same as the value in Y, then we say it's not. So X is not what Y, which means the value in X is not the same as what the value in Y. This is what we call the identity or identifier operator in Python. Now, we also have one called the Python membership operator, which means if we have 5 and 2, this is just like a Venn diagram, trying to do a Venn diagram. Then we just need to use this operator in. So what are we doing here? We are asking the computer if X is in Y. Now X contains Y and 2. Y contains what? A value of 2. So here we can return a true statement because 5. You see here is 5, but there's no 5 in Y. But there's 2 here, and there is what? 2 in Y, which means X is in Y. And if none of this, let's say we have 1 and 3 here, which means X is not in Y, which means here is 5, here is 2, but in Y we don't have 2, we don't have 5, which means X is not in Y. I hope you're following all what I'm trying to do. I'm giving you all these bases for you to understand. Not all programmers will tell you this. Okay, they will not get time to go down to deep like this to explain all these points for you. So try to understand this before we move to the project. Because when we start building the project, I'm not going to explain all this again. We'll be using, so before you come to the project, you need to understand all these points before you can start building the projects together. And the last one I'm going to show you is called the Python bitwise operator. Bitwise operators. And what are these bitwise operators? They are used to compare just binary numbers, okay? So we need, like, let's say if we set each bit to 1 on both sides, we use maybe something like the and, this symbol, this, yeah. I'm trying to find all these operators on the keyboard. Yeah, this. We have this. Well, we have this, and we have this. So this is what we call the bitwise operators, which is used to compare what? Only binary numbers. So you should take note of that too. And with all these operators, but mostly these ones are used when you are dealing with regular expressions, okay? In Python. When you get to regular expressions, I'll explain a lot to you, because that is one of the topics in Python people normally don't understand. Regular expression. It's kind of a bit tricky and bit difficult, but when you get there, I'll try to explain it in depth for you to understand. Yeah. But what we also need to know is what we call operator precedence here. What this does is, when back in high school, we need to talk about what we call board mass. which means bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So this is what we call what the operator precedence, which means let me delete this, and I tell the computer to print into bracket 5 plus 3 multiplied by 3 plus 2. What do you think the answer is going to be? Now, this is where the operator precedence comes in. Looking at the board, mass. Now, what the computer is going to do is, or our interpreter is going to do is, first is going to take this bracket, then add what is in the bracket first, which is the bracket, which is B. So 5 plus 3 is going to be what? 8. Perfect. Now, of division, there's no division. Multiplication comes first, so 5 plus 3 is what? 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Then it will add 24 plus 2, which is what? 26. So when we run this, we should get 26. So let me clear this and let's run this code. Perfect. So now we get what our value to be 26 because it took the bracket first. 5 plus 3, 8. Then it came to multiply it. 24 plus 2, 26. So this is what we call the operator precedence. So what you learned back in high school and primary school, as I told you at the beginning of the lesson, that is going to be needed here. So if you don't have any knowledge about mathematics, man, you need to start learning. Let I be able to understand what you are doing with program, because you need to follow the board math principle, or mostly people call the paired math, right? To be able to solve this kind of mathematical equations. Okay, so this is all I want you to know about the Python operators. Since you've known this, you've had the basic knowledge. When we are coding or we are doing more of projects or practical exercise, you could be able to understand why these operators are needed, the place you're supposed to use it, and where you are not supposed to use it. And you should know that it follows some rules. So if you're able to know the rules of board math and you are doing your calculation and somebody take your code and try to read, it knows how you did your programming. Okay, so take care, enjoy your day, and I will see you as this brought us to the end of Python operators or operators in Python program. You know now, it's simple for you. I've explained all the operators in Python for you. So try to practice. As we go along, we'll be doing some exercises so you will understand the whole concept and idea. But here I was just trying to explain things to you. Okay, so take care and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.